nollie off. This gives away the indication, though. They should know he's here. They do with the knife. GW! He goes through.
In the same place there, Simple just jumping actually into the side. He's going to fall down again. What is it?
Snacks. Does find one. As he dances back and forth between the box. What a shot! What in God's name is that from Snacks?
Carrigan drops him and falling. It turns back on. Takes a second as well. And the third. That's going to be the great go there. Oh, what are you doing?
These opening slots are going to. They are putting one down at the very start of this round, but it's Config just greeting the edge. Oh, switches up! Config!
They're going to move in, and once again, very quickly. They tried it before. They're going to shut down time after time again. Automatic!
The left side. First shot's very easy. Knows that they're on the right. Lovely shot and get right with the aim.
Challenging towards Connector. Sick shot from Kenny, and again.
The opponents were being that passive style, but now you can see Scream doesn't care anymore. Scream's doing the no step. 4 quick tech shots and the ace. That's beautifully done. That is sick.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's back. The ESL CSGO Pro League has reached its 5th season. I'm your host for now, Alex Machine Richardson, and things are about to get exciting. That's right, a whole new season, and now your Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are going to be a whole lot more exciting. I don't know what you do on Tuesdays. It may be football practice, it may be matchmaking, whatever it is, it's going to be not quite as good as this damn Pro League. It's all here and now on YouTube as well, so thanks for joining us here, and now thanks for joining us on the desk. I've already introduced myself, now to introduce 2 beautiful humans. First up, of course, a man no stranger to going down under. It's Chad Birchall.
G'day.
Hey man, good to have you with us.
You could have prepped me on that one, but that's a...
Why would I warn you about that one? God, that doesn't happen. How are you doing? You have got an entire notebook of notes in front of you. You've been doing your homework for the Pro League.
Yeah, you know, I want to be prepared. I want to do a good job.
Looks good.
And there's lots to talk about.
And your handwriting isn't awful.
Yeah, when I was doing it for this, I thought I might actually need to read it later, so...
yeah, that's a problem. Lauren, you've got pretty handwriting as well. Lauren Pansy-Scott is joining us in the studio.
The handwriting's there, but it's a much
beautiful.
smaller book. Much smaller book.
Very petite.
Yes.
Do you pop it in your top pocket of your jacket?
Back pocket. Back pocket.
But you sit on your notes.
Yeah, but pen's in the front.
Okay. Well, we're all organised and ready for this Pro League. And of course, so are the teams. That's right. We wouldn't be able to do the Pro League without the world's best Counter-Strike teams. And here they stand, both in the Americas and the European region. First, though, in the North American region, we have a beautiful bunch of 14. Some changes, some chop and change indeed. Keep your eyes on those names, those orgs. And now, Chad, when you were doing your research, when you were taking a look at who's present, we remember Cloud9 lifting the trophy last season. But who's going to be popping out of that page for you?
Renegades, of course. You know, the
course.
There's Misfits, the New Dogs. They topped ESEAP season 23, and that's why they got their spot. Then we have New Dogs of Rush, and the other new team who played through relegation was Luminosity, and then Selfless had to do a playoff against Splice, I believe it was, to get Echo Fox's spot, who had to drop out. They didn't have a roster.
Yeah, and seeing Selfless back in it as well. I mean, these were teams you're expecting to see crop up, Lauren?
Yeah, and for me, SK with Phelps as well. Want to see how this one goes down now. Bit of a chop and change. They already looked good at the previous major, of course, and now you get to see the full 5, see what they can bring. And what we're going to be bringing you here from ESL's Cologne studio is the European region. And here the 14 stand, and good God, is it not stacked. There have been some new faces, but there's certainly some old ones in as well. The likes of Team Kingwin and LDLC managing to claw their way into the European top 14 here for the ESL Pro League. Chad, I mean, LDLC picking up that spot, seeing another French team making their way into the fold.
Yeah, they're not really the the scariest French team in the lineup now that we have the new G2 though. You know, they're the talking point, I think, and so are a few of these other teams. Fnatic with the roster change back to the Dennis, JW, Flusher, Olaf, and Crim's lineup, which was so successful. We've also got, you know, a very strong looking Astralis lineup.
I mean, yeah, major champions going to try and hit the ground running. Especially, even today, Lauren, we get to see some of Astralis. These guys impressed at E-League. They have to maintain it in the regular season. Are they kind of the ones to watch for you?
Of course, rematch of the quarterfinals today. Always going to be great to see. A little bit of a, you know, different level, let's put it that way to say the least, but always good to see. Got to point out, though, having a quick chat with Dupree earlier, they haven't actually had that much time to practice this. Well, they have, but Device hasn't been feeling so good, so they're just warming back into it. So, again, I don't know what we're going to be seeing coming into this season from them.
Yeah, I mean, the French shuffle and the Swedish shuffle is going to be so damn exciting. We get to see it all unfold on this very broadcast. Now, we have had a lot of fun prior to this one. I know you guys are about to start having your fun, but prior to this, we were approached to try and complete our fantasy rosters. This is awesome. This is something ESL are doing over on their website. You can see the rules now in front of you. It's very simple. We had a little quick look to see how we were going to pick our 5. You get given a budget and pick your players according to that, how you expect to perform on that week, changing on a week-by-week basis. Now, you get 1 point for a kill. You can see the rest of it in front of you. And so we're looking for fraggers.
Yeah, an important point with those rules that Lauren missed was you want to get players who are going to play multiple games in a week who you think are going to do well, because you can get more points that way, right? I think Lauren missed that.
Oh dear, is Lauren's team a little...
Look, I put more time into my name of my team.
Oh, here they are. Okay, so this
is
is our personal league. You can play along at home as well. Yeah. But you can see it up in front of you. I can't read him too
London
well.
Mint.
Thank you very much.
Sydney Underground.
Team Cartman.
No, Quantum,
No,
that's
Quantum.
that's our product manager. The product manager of the Pro League is in.
Like it, like it. Alex, there's yours.
Yeah.
What was yours again?
That is none other than Electronic Cyber...
Sports e-gamers.
Sports e-gamers, yeah.
Nice.
Can't read the preview, man. That's really good.
They missed out mine there, which is upsetting.
Yeah,
and I feel as though they might have meant that.
And Matt.
They didn't show yours?
No, not sure.
Oh, no.
But basically,
it was a great team.
you can
Whose is that one? Okay, Sydney Underground. This is yours,
That's
chat.
Chat.
Walk me through it, buddy. Walk me through it.
All right, so SK, NIP, Renegades, and Astralis are all playing multiple games. I got Elise in there because he was a good price, and I think he's going to slam Misfits. So
Yeah, I was going to say playing Misfits. Did you look at their opponents as well? Was that one of your influences?
Yeah, that's important. I think the NA region, there's a higher disparity between top teams and the lower of the barrel. So if you can pick some good matchups, you can get some good points there. Be a little bit cheeky about that.
Okay, so our product manager has gone for Hiko, Taric, Forest, Shocks, and Body.
Ooh.
Taric pick. Interesting. Who?
there's Alex's.
Oh, this is me, the Electronic Cyber Sports e-gamers.
Oh, Rain's a nice pickup.
So Rain, right? He's going to be dogging on Kingwin. Device, he's going to be walking all over NaVi like he did. But you just said he's not feeling well. Didn't get that inside info when I was building my team.
He's probably better now. It's fine.
Ugh, Shocks, though, of course, because it's the new G2. They're hype.
There's the team.
Oh,
there's
there you are.
one.
The female gamers.
I went for a little bit of an out there pick on Twanu. I want to see how he does.
You said he's flashy.
I've seen him play flashy, so I want to see if this guy gets it going. But it does mean that I also got Nico and Cold Zero as the combo. So that was the big heavy hitters.
And you guys can play along as well at home. I have the URL in front of me, but it's doesn't roll quite off the tongue. You'll be able to find it, I'm sure, in YouTube chat. But it is over at fantasy.eslgaming.com/leagues, and then I think you'll find it from there. But if not, the actual league is 39682. That's our league. Check it out.
I don't think they can join our league.
They can see it. They can check out our picks for themselves.
Sorry, that's my bad.
But this is what's coming up today. We promised some Astralis, and we get Astralis, NaVi, and Overpass is the first map. Anyone that saw the major will know why this is important, Lauren.
Yeah, it's a huge map. You saw not only Device being insanely good on it, but also Kiebi as well. Both of those went absolutely huge. Guardian fell off that map, which was a huge disparity to what you normally expect from NaVi, but then again, echoed throughout the rest of the major. But still, yeah, Nuke as well, huge for me, just seeing these two play head-to-head. They've never played this map. Going back as far as their inceptions, neither have faced on this one.
Astralis actually banned this map in their veto phase in the quarterfinal of the major, which was surprising. You know, I thought they would have liked to let it through, but it seemed like it was a surprise factor for NaVi.
I mean, we got to see their Nuke versus Fnatic, right? And it wasn't awful. We'll have plenty of time to talk about it, of course, when we do dive into that second match. You saw the secondary stream as well. You get to see Ninjas in pajamas back at it. Maybe Inferno's popped up. We don't know. No, that's the second
week.
Second week. Stop getting excited,
We're all
Alex.
excited for it to come back.
I just want to see Inferno.
Excited.
That's something to talk about, though. Yeah. Inferno back in the map pool for our second season. And someone else who's back for our 5th season now of the Pro League is none other than Mitch or Uber. He had some time to go ahead and break down how the lay of the land has been looking in the break between Season 4 and Season 5. Let's check in with Mitch.
And you're going to be seeing a couple of different things happening here at the ESL Pro League. And probably the biggest change is that we've now moved over to YouTube. Yes, youtube.com/ESLCS as well. We'll be streaming from and keeping all our content. But if you're here right now, you probably already figured that out, so good job. Be sure to check this channel out, though, often for updates of our top plays, pro tips, and match highlights as we do move through the season. Also, be sure to get involved with our polls on both Facebook and Twitter. We're going to have them up pretty much every match day, and the first one's pretty darn simple. Our first match of the day, who is going to be the victor, Astralis or NaVi? You can submit your vote on facebook.com/ESLCS or at Twitter @ESLCS. And each week, as I did previously mention, we'll be bringing you a recap of our top plays from the Pro League from both the EU and the NA regions. Also, at the end of the month, we're going to be having a viewers vote so you can tell us who you thought the best plays of the month were. And for those of you who missed all the action of the ESL Pro League Season 4, we're going to throw it back and take a look at the season that was.
I think he'll be ready for Skadoodle here. He has the angle with the AWP, the Molotov forcing anyone away from swinging wide. Grabs the second kill, great, and a third one! Skadoodle, what a recovery and a hold! All 4 kills for Skadoodle.
Slow down, and here he is again. He's to hit the second. You better believe he will. Now a third. Twist is going to take the fight, and he hits it as well. Kenny is just raining down terror. 2 more to find, and they're cowering in drop room, fearing what he could do with his Zoom banger. Finds a little bit of a respite for a moment. This could be a full ace. Kenny is going absolutely nuts.
Plants getting guns away. You're gonna make the investment into this isn't around. Win Nico though.
Smoke will plume in front of them now, and Christian is able to peek through the windows. But there's Nico again. Gets himself the second kill. There could be something here for Mousefuls, and the third through the wall. Nicely done for the man now. The bomb's ticking away. There's no choice. Shefan has to stand and deliver, and Nico shuts him down.
He may have gotten away with it, but unfortunately for him, not to be. It's Dupree next in line. Does find Glaive still behind that E-box, but they're pushing too quickly for him to find a secondary angle. Good dink up from Zipix, and that might buy them time, because Kerrigan, he's going for the flank. There's an AK down. He's smart not to go for it immediately because he picks up a second kill. Snappy finds one in return, but he's isolated. Can he find it? Down to the one-on-one, and Kerrigan's timing is everything.
Here come the bodies as well. Guardian just put one down. Can he find a second? You better believe he can. Not another. Surely! Guardian, stop it! Guardian shuts down 4, and the dream is real as he melts all 5.
And at the conclusion of Season 4, our top teams headed off to the finals. And in Europe, despite finishing at top during the group stage, Fnatic dropped out of the tournament, leaving NIP at the head of the peloton going into the groups. And over in North America, it was Cloud9 who led the pack. But let's have a look and see how those finals turned out.
For the first time, ESL Pro League hit South America to bring the biggest esports event the continent has ever seen to the mega city of Sao Paulo. As both SK and Immortals qualified for the tournament, it was a question of honor for the home teams to impress the crowd and, if possible, win the title. However, after a weak group stage, Immortals got kicked out of the competition quickly, and all hope rested on SK's shoulders, led by their in-game leader, Gabriel Fallen Toledo. The crowd was fired up for a Brazilian team winning the title on Brazilian soil.
I think it's natural to really want to win, and there is a little bit of more pressure, but we try to handle it the best we can.
But in the grand final, another American team showed up. After losing to SK in the group stage, Cloud9 battled their way through the playoffs, defeating Optic and Mouse Sports for their chance to take revenge on the Brazilian superstars. The first map became a close affair, and Cloud9 pushed SK to overtime, but in the end, Fallen Squad was victorious. However, the pressure Cloud9 put on SK seemed to be too much. On the next 2 maps, the Brazilians got overrun, and Cloud9 won their first ever Pro League title.
And that was the ESL Pro League Season 4 finals. Now it's time to look ahead towards Season 5, and we'll waste no time in getting into our first match of the season. It's going to be NaVi going up against Astralis, the latter who've recently made changes to their lineup. Shortly after the ESL Pro League Season 4, heroic member Glaive transitioned into the already top-performing Danish squad as their new in-game leader. And interesting in terms of this particular matchup we have today, NaVi player C's had a very positive opinion about this particular transfer. If you read the tweet, he basically said that Astralis had everything they needed to take the major, and their last hurdle would be the mental game, and that would be all they needed to accomplish to get their first title. Interestingly enough, Astralis proved them right, toppling NaVi in the quarterfinals at E-League to take their very first major championship.
Yes, indeed, that was Mitch there, and also talking and ending on talking about Astralis, their performance at the major. I've got, you know, Sponge and Pansy joining me to just touch on that. We can't linger too much. It's definitely been covered plenty in the past, but I mean, the most recent CSGO we saw was Astralis lifting the trophy at the E-League major over in Atlanta.
Yeah, and for me, it starts very early on here. Their group stage wasn't perfect. They dropped 2 games to Godsent and SK, but the recovery was phenomenal. It set them up perfectly throughout the rest of the game, and NaVi had the complete opposite. Perfect group stage, and then, as said, quarterfinals.
And with Navi's performance in the group stage as well, I saw a lot of people, don't know whether you yourself included, saying that there was perhaps an element of overhype surrounding Navi after those group stages, given who they were beating and given the style of CS we saw. Chad, what were you thinking?
Going into the event, I had Navi as my team to win it. But, you know, I don't know if they were overhyped. They showed a really good caliber of Counter-Strike. They didn't have to play the hardest opponents, but they still got across the line and did what they needed to do. I think they were scared, you know. And in this matchup that they had, you know, it was a tough one straight off the bat. But Astralis, like, since they got since they've changed, they've got Glaive as the in-game leader and stuff. They have a new belief in him, as opposed to Carrigan. I think they had so many losses as a team. The team had kind of given up on him and didn't believe in his calls. And now with Glaive, they're behind him. And especially in this quarterfinal matchup, you know?
What versus NaVi? I mean, we get that rematch today, but we did get to see it over in the major. Was there anything that you particularly wanted to highlight from that game between these two titans of Counter-Strike?
Yeah, well, it's Overpass again. That's the first map we have today. And that was a match that I think Astralis did such a great job of controlling the pace on their T side. We have a clip here. And basically, this is quite late in the first half. Astralis have managed to make NaVi stack the A bomb site here. They've got 2 players over towards long. They've got one over in that toilet section. This Molotov here by Zipnix is super important. This has been done almost every round, and it stops the NaVi players from being able to take that sewer control early. It makes it look like it's just a default, but Astralis with this change of pace and going over towards the B bomb site and just doing a full execute basically off the bat, have forced NaVi, you know, to just play scared and take a risk, which it doesn't pay off for them here. So what we're about to see is Astralis do their B execute while NaVi is still waiting for the normal default to play out. They're scared. They don't want to take any risks. They don't want to push areas. The execute comes in. There's only 2 players for NaVi left on that B bomb site. They just get overwhelmed by all 5 members of Astralis and take the round with ease.
They're very pigeonholed as well. You saw those players just getting completely locked out of that one.
Yeah, so basically in the course of that game, they had forced NaVi to be really scared of A. They'd lost a lot of rounds over towards long, done a lot of fast stuff towards long, and I want to see if they do the similar thing tonight with controlling the pace. It's a mental game now for NaVi. How are they going to catch up and play against that?
It's going to be beautiful to watch. And even in that round, you can see it. Glaive still smoking out towards Fountain, still trying to show presence towards A.
Exactly.
It's beautifully done as a whole team. I love watching stuff like that. It really does characterize how hard they worked leading up towards that major, and they finally had, I guess, the confidence in themselves to pull it all the way through and go to the finals and, you know, not infamously choke as highlighted.
Yes, they made it to the grand final. That felt like an achievement for themselves. Like, literally, you spoke to Dupree, and he was like, we were surprised we even got to the grand final. That felt like a victory in itself, and they did manage to break that curse and do so rather gloriously over in Atlanta. Now, their opponents are on the screen as well, NaVi. We got to see them fall short at the major and now got a whole lot to prove here in the 5th season of the Pro League. So much on the line. $1 million for this season alone.
So for me, coming into especially Overpass, I want to be looking at Simple and Guardian. Those two got completely locked out of Overpass. They were literally lowest kills, and they became this kind of deadly duo previously. Leading up to the major, everyone's going, Overpass is a big map for them. They double AWP over towards toilets. It was kind of risky, but everyone goes, oh, it's those two, they can pull it off. Device shut them down massively, and so did Kiebi as well. So again, I want to see if they're confident enough to just go back to it, if there's any echoes in the back of their minds that maybe fall back towards being a little bit scared of going towards their confident style of play.
I think scared is the key word. Over that whole series we saw on LAN, it was a scared NaVi. They didn't look themselves, they didn't want to take risks, they got shut out from the get-go, and they never recovered from that. The online environment, they're going to play with a bit more vigor, you know, they're going to be confident, they're not going to get worried about things as they did in the stage environment. So now I'm expecting a more confident NaVi, and I think we're going to see the things that they had prepped for the major that didn't come out. You know, that was the first time they really got to play against a top tier team at the major, and they just looked scared across all 3 of the maps that they played.
I mean, it's true. When you look at just because I want to come back to it, I quickly got them up in front of me. The teams that they did play before that quarterfinal, like to get to that spot, it was, and I want to make sure I have it right, so Mouse, Envy and SK. SK with a stand-in, Envy about to make a roster change, and Mouse Sports looking poo.
Yeah, barring the SK
that's a
one.
good way to put
it. To me, it was Cobblestone that was a massive map for them. And coming in towards that quarterfinal, though, the instant ban that we saw coming out from Astralis was Cobble.
Yeah.
Like, whether it was purely because they saw any of the group stage or cared about it, but no matter what, that was the first ban that they put out there. And you respect it. They were good there. That's when Flamey and Simple were obscene. We saw them going absolutely off on that sort of map. So again, nice work from Astralis coming in, taking away the one thing we saw them looking really strong on. Dust 2 against SK looked good as well. Like, as I said, NaVi in the groups were absolutely nuts, but they just never seemed to be able to pull that through in towards the quarters.
Yeah. You said that we lost Guardian and Simple. I think it's safe to say, are we still expecting them to be the big deliverers for NaVi? Now we're back into the online environment, back home, back settled, and looking to do some damage again, or do you still want to talk about Mr. Flamedogger?
I really like Flamey.
You're a bit of a sucker for him, aren't you?
He's a good player. I really like the way his style and stuff. But for me, it is those two players. It wasn't the fact that I don't think Simple fell off in that quarterfinal as much as some of the other players on the team. But now Starix in this online environment can have more of a say. You know, he's not restricted. He can talk freely at all times. So that takes a bit of weight off C's shoulders as well. He's going to be able to be more free-flowing, and that's going to be a good thing for NaVi. They need to fix their mental game, I think. And Zeus, I don't know how he did it. I think maybe he was a bit more brutish about it. But it seems now there's no clear or strong leader in the team. There's obviously leaders and stuff, and Starix would be well respected, and he's probably dictating a lot of the stuff they do. But there's no authority figure, the way I look at it anyway, no scary person.
There's no Zeus character.
Yeah, so they need to...
Zeus.
They need to work on their mentality. Not necessarily... You don't need that figure. You just need to all be understanding of each other, which is hard in everyday society.
Yeah, and talking to Edward in Atlanta, he only had positive words to say about Zeus's transition. He's just so happy to see him and Gambit succeed. It does seem like both parties, again, becoming a bit of a recurring trend in CSGO currently, both parties have benefited from a roster change.
Carrigan and Astralis.
Exactly. Cajun and Astralis, they keep coming.
It's nuts.
It has. We'll see what happens with the French shuffle. Maybe people can. There'll be no bad blood there. I don't think it's quite in the same category.
Well, not everybody's going to benefit from that.
No. Okay. Moving swiftly on, though. You've heard what we have to say, but we have the opportunity to hear what you have to say as well. Now, we've been sending out a poll. You heard Mitch talk about it earlier. We'll see if you guys have been getting in contact. And okay, 55 to 45. If I tried to poke odds out of you, I'm seeing nods. Does that sound about right to you guys, Lauren? You're putting funny faces, was it?
Yeah, because it's just the situation, right? It's like, I don't know how Astralis is going to play in this one, because I know that they haven't been able to practice as much as they probably want to just yet. They're just coming back in. But I have no idea what NaVi's been up to since the major.
They did the Katowice qualifier over the
weekend.
Yeah,
there was that.
They're going to be looking... I'm going with NaVi.
You are?
Yeah, I'd do 60-40 NaVi.
Now, I know that in other games there is this recurring trend of if you win a major event, you fall off for a bit. I don't know how much it applies to CS, but like it's like you feel like that sudden sigh of relief when you're like, we're major champions. And then getting back, mouse and keyboard in hand and practicing doesn't seem to be a top priority. I know they took a break. You said yourself, Lauren.
Not a break as such, just because Device was ill. It's more like we might as well just, not just run back into it. There's no point. We ease back in carefully. But I don't know. I think that majors are different to like internationals, for example. You look at other games, sure, teams literally do win that and then just vanish.
Sure.
I don't think it's the case in CS because Valve doesn't love us as much, but it just doesn't equal out to me. I think that for me, I want to see longevity from this Astralis lineup, and I think they're the same as well. They want to be able to pull themselves through to a consistent level.
So I mean, Chad's going for NaVi, Lauren. Who would you expect to take this one? This is Overpass, first map. We saw Astralis beat them at the major on this map, 16-7. What's your call?
I think the sensible thing is NaVi.
For the map, okay.
Yeah, but I will go for Astralis because I just feel the need to.
All right, we've got a split desk. We'll go ahead and see what the casters have to say. Maybe they will be at a similar fate. It's none other than the infamous, the beautiful, the gluttonous Henry G and Sadakist.
Gluttonous is only one of my 7 deadly sins, Alex. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm here with Henry G, and we started off Season 5 Pro League. It's hard to believe we're that far into it already.
Yeah.
And what a match to start it with. This could have been, if the bracket had aligned differently, very easily a grand final of the last major, not a quarterfinal.
Absolutely, I agree. And what a map to kick it off as well. We saw this in the quarterfinal, Overpass. It was actually Astralis got 12 rounds on their terrorist side. That's quite unheard of on this sort of map. So that's kind of exciting going into this one. As I can see, I think NaVi are actually starting on the T side this time, so maybe a little bit more rebalanced. We'll see what happens there. But Matthew, I kind of believe in CSGO, when you win a major, it's quite a common trend. When winning the major, you drop off after that. The one that stands out the most, probably NIP to me, after they won that major, they kind of disappeared after that, right?
I think the Luminosity win for Columbus, not SK, had the same effect. They went to Malmo a week later, and they were knocked out in groups by Tyloo.
Sure.
I think it's a big sigh of relief, and I think you kind of fall into a bit of a not complacency, but you relax. It's a large objective. You finally accomplished. And I think that everyone kind of just lets their mind slip for a week or two. I don't think Astralis is going to go into a slump, per se.
But they have been doing like a lot of PR stuff, traveling the
Exactly.
country and not necessarily concentrating on the game. Obviously, it's a massive achievement, but this is straight back into it now against top-tier opposition. And it is going to be the first game here, ladies and gentlemen. NaVi versus Astralis here on Overpass. We did see it at the quarterfinal in the major, and it was Astralis running away with this one in the first half. We'll see what happens here as we go into round number 1. Doesn't look like we're doing a knife round, Matt. We're not going to get too excited.
I don't get excited over knife rounds, Henry. That's mostly you.
It's true. Well then, we have got 4 sets of armor from Astralis, and not going to be going straight towards B. It's quite a common trend on the terrorist pistol here. And Overpass has got 4 sets of armor, 1 smoke, a flashbang, and a decoy as well in the hands of Glaive, of course, the in-game leader. And look at this aggressive hold from the CTs, though, going towards that connector area, and the frags start opening up. Flamey picking up 2.
Picked up from Flamey to fall back as well with 2 kills. Take the lead on the CT side. The one thing they did about this is getting aggressive with all the pistols on A. They've left B completely open, which, yes, they've got a man advantage, but they have to play a retake game, which means they have to be efficient about their timing. Otherwise, if they isolate themselves, especially Guardian on 17 HP, it's a 3-on-3 retake with only 1 kit. So it's not done and dusted just yet for NaVi as they look to rotate back. Thankfully, Guardian has slowed up, but seized. Trying to pick from the windows, taking a bit of damage. And Dupree, there it is. He takes down Flamey, and he's free to peek elsewhere. Doesn't know there's a second player on the flank, though, but no one pursuing inside of the site. He can pick his battles right now, and as a result, Guardian goes down. The strategy looked great from NaVi with the start and the aggressive play, but a good call from Astralis back to the B site, and they leave it open.
It's pretty much exactly what Chad pointed out in that little demonstration he had of the strategy from the major. They show a lot of aggression towards A. Obviously, it's a map that has opens itself to rotation, so that connector area you can get to the B bomb site quickly. But if Astralis notices that aggression's coming in, they've seen heavy numbers towards A, they're going to capitalize. They make their way towards B. Flamey finds a couple of kills, but like you said, bomb goes down, the terrorists can recalibrate themselves. Nice post-plant situation going on there, and they pick up a much-needed pistol there. We are going to see a force buy here from NaVi on the second round. Flamey, he got a few more kills. He gets a UMP and body armor. They're going to be sending 4 players towards the B side of the map as well, so another heavy investment here from the CTs. Of course, so Astralis will be holding up in a full default. Don't need to rush in these rounds, don't need to give anything away. See if you can get some sort of tell as to what's going on. Try and bait out some grenades potentially here. You can see the CTs with 2 HEs in their hands right now. They're going to be trying to save those for the execution, but at this point, when they haven't seen anything of 4 players towards B, they might want to start sniffing some information momentarily.
And it's KRB that's going to wait inside of water, construction position with that UMP, so he's going to get lots of information based on sound. Good play from Device, finds Simple down below. See if he gets away with one before KRB does re-peek. That puts Glaive in his position, but unfortunately 4 versus 2 as they walk in. It's still going to be all Astralis, and yeah, found one of the 2 players in that position. So again, they try and stack up NaVi, but the rotation around from the lower position at tunnels gets caught. That's a lovely shot. He does get 2. That'll cost some reinvestment. And that Zipix, unfortunately, I was going to say, I thought he was going the wrong way to get the gun, but he actually already had one of the AKs, so no matter what, they've got to reinvest. There's 2 AKs, I believe, that were down toward Monster.
Yeah, and interesting though for NaVi. It's going to dent them going forward. They did fully invest. I believe Guardians kept his money a bit stronger, so they will have the AWP in that first gun round. But Edward, like you said, doing some damage to the economy, some nice work at the 5-7 there to finish things off. Can't pick up the round. It was another investment from the CTs towards that B bomb site. Did sort of pay off, I guess. Comes down to the 2 versus 1 in the end, but this will be one of those redundant rounds we normally talk about. Nothing invested by the CTs whatsoever. Just default pistols, no grenades, and they're trying to get this round over as quickly as possible. The objective for Astralis, allow these SMG players on your screen right now to farm up as much cash as they possibly can. Every kill of these weapons worth $600, so you want to be sending them in first. Dupree, he doesn't even want to use that. He'll use the Glock instead and finds 2 there, and it should be a very simple procedure. Want to keep 5 players alive, of course. Sees and Edward remain.
KRB, watch the rotation of the pistol though. Sees hits 1, can't find the second headshot immediately after. No bomb plants in the last 2, but first off, doesn't matter. They do it on kills. The one thing we do have to mention still, unfortunately, Device did get some SMG money that time around, is the reinvestment that they had to force themselves into. So immediately Device is going to drop over an AK.
Yeah.
And that'll build KRB back into this by getting utility, but no op to go against Guardian.
Yeah, these rounds are always a little bit funny though. The first gun round after the CT's force by the second, you know you can be a little bit more cavalier of your strategy. You know there's potentially no head armor there. They're going to be lacking grenades, so the CTs have to go aggressive. You can go for a straight up rush if you wanted to, and you can see the CTs are working a little bit harder for this first frag. It's going to go against them though. Simple, caught a no man's land there. He goes down to the hands of that SMG, but Edward does return the frag. 4 and 4 still favors a terrorist at this point. The problem for the CTs now is, look at their utility. They have 2 smokes remaining, no incendiaries, and no kits. Guardian of glass cannon as well. He needs to step up with his AWP, and just as I say that, he finds a kill on towards Glaive.
Lovely shot. This Guardian backs off as well. So that's what they need. He's probably the best at finding opening picks of all operas still, in my opinion. He knows how to get aggressive and then fall back, but no one covering off toward the sandbags position as Guardian was in transition. It's a massive gap because they get an entry kill. Nice response. Spot the foot top right of the scope, excuse me. And still finds another one onto Kierby. On the apex of the jump, Zipix tries to rotate back around, and there you go. No op to go against Guardian. Not only does he find the first kill, makes a bit of a mistake in transition, just poor timing, and then makes up for it by finding 3 more.
You see what I mean? As soon as that first player went down, Guardian knew he had to step up. We've seen him do some devastating performances on that B-bomb site, and he delivers once again. Guardian with 4 kills with the AWP, no armor as well. So good in those situations. You're absolutely right. Great opening up the map. He's pretty much the most versatile AWP we have. He's up there with Kenny S, of course. I don't think he's #1 right now. He certainly was at one point, and he's starting to return to form as we go into 2017. Big round for NaVi there. Difficult round for them overall, but it's Guardian once again. He's got in the zone now as we're pushing towards short. Trying to find another opening kill here by himself as well. That's audacious play, but looks comfortable for now.
And Zipex is looking for a shot in toward Monster before smoke finally lands, so not the default smoke all the way from spawn. Big round. First gun is won by the team that lost the pistol. Means money's tight on both sides, as always, as Guardian again gets aggressive, but falls back this time without a kill. Dupree's tagged down to 41. So really damage could favor NaVi. If you want to look for some sort of silver lining, Molotov will go inside of the front bathroom, smoke off inside and in front. Small gap. Device is going to check to make sure the boost is not in effect.
Indeed. Well, at the moment, Astralis playing some classic Counter-Strike. Overpass lends itself to defaults and trying to gain map control. Main objectives normally going towards long A, but for the moment you can see there's a lot of presence there from NaVi. It's going to be Edward, Seized, and Simple patrolling that area, looking to trade a frag, then rotate. And they could find some action here as well. Kierby's by himself towards long. Glaive is in towards that bathroom area, but he'll be flashing over. They can't really afford to have this many players on this side of the map without too much information being gathered. So that's why they flashed over there, and it's going to leave Edward in position as he pushes towards long. It looked like it will be another B execution, and probably one very similar to what we saw from Chad earlier on in the analysis section.
Comes. Guardian's ready. We saw it in a highlight clip that he's played that position to success that time. Glaive, headshot on entry, follows that up with Zipix taking down Seized as they smoke off one side of the jungle. It's only a small gap by which they can peek. Jump through, nice reaction by Simple, but gets aggressive to go for the AK, and it leaves Edward alone to try and flank from a rotation, and he's gonna go construction side. Now Device may go down at this because he's not gonna be ready. Now that gives it up. Shoulder shown, they all know he's there. Attention drawn, Molotov to buy the AWP more space, and as a result, Edward's gone.
That was a big round, you pointed it out. NaVi had to really work hard to win that first gun round, but losing this one means pretty much no money into the next one. Thank you for bringing out the scoreboard. You can see that's illustrated perfectly right now. They don't even have $1,400 going into that next round. Guardian with some residual cash, he's got 2K. The problem is he's the AWP player. 1,400 on top of that. It's enough to buy an M4 to go with Edward, but I wouldn't say it's worth any sort of force around this. Just try and save this M4, make some damage to the economy, but that might not happen. Edward's taking a lot of damage there. Kierby finds him, so that storyline is done and dusted. It will be 3 players surviving for Astralis, and another eco now for NaVi. 4-1 on the terrorist side of this map. A great start for Astralis, well recovered. Back towards that B side they go. A lot of gambles being made by NaVi on this map so far, Matt. 3 players towards long once again. They don't find anything for it. Towards B they go. Astralis, once again, that full execution comes in. Get that first frag, and it's so difficult to reset that site once the bomb goes down. So very good job from them. Another redundant round, and I use that word when I say there's nothing really invested in the round. It's almost impossible for NaVi to pick up this one up unless someone goes godlike, or they start killing each other. That helps as well.
That's one way. Yeah, that'll work. That'll do. Device takes down his teammate after Guardian tagged him up through the edge of the wall into Monster. Guardian back on the pistol is going to try and take that to his advantage and get one more kill out of this because I call it a 2 for him, but that's the way it goes. Dupree, though, he's going to take Guardian out of the equation. So Kierby sits on the sidelines, punished by his team, and then Device makes up for it by catching off Simple. To follow it up, it's just Edward and Seized, and their fate no greater. Seized is in an interesting position, but I think they heard the tick from the Molotov, and Device sprays him down with the Tech 9.
Interesting enough, simply forced into that round. So you can see right now on your screen, he's got 2,200. They could have bought into this. It would have been a rough buy, so they probably had the mentality going for the double eco anyway, but he didn't necessarily have to do that. He'll be fine for the next round regardless. It's not too much of a huge deal. Just another almost free round for Astralis here. There is some upgraded pistols this time, and there's going to be some body armor as well for Guardian, Flamey, and Seized. They're going to be a 3rd stage loss bonus next round, so they're okay. Guardian's money currently sits at $4,100. So just going to see what they can try and do. You can see Kierby reading the economy quite nicely here. Keeps his Mac 10. And he'll be throwing himself into bomb sites first here and trying to find his first frags. Another gamble from NaVi here. 5 men towards the B side of the map. hoping for that execution to come in once again. But as I mentioned before, when you know you're up against an eco and you've ascertained they've only got pistols, you don't want to be going all in. You want to be working a full default, work a pick, wait for the reaction, and then you make your play as a team. You don't just want to be walking into bomb sites blind. It's very unlikely a full stack at the start of the round should work out for you.
Flamey, meanwhile, CZ75 is going to try and work with Seized in position. 10 for Kirby as he works with Glaive to try and push back. A nice shot, Dupree. We didn't see it. I think that was on the jump.
He always hits that shot. I didn't catch it,
It's
but
ridiculous
he gets every. I don't know. That's why I've always said in these casts, why do people make that jump? I think it may have been a boost considering it's a B stack, but still, he nails that shot every single time.
Well, either way, it's still pretty sick as he starts it off. But I was going to say, they've cleared out lower hallways, and they can start to work either side of the map. If we look in the top left corner, our simplified radar, we've got Device inside of A as well. So this is going to clear out a lot of information and back Astralis go. There's no need walking into 3 players. He can get a forward stance on this rotation as well.
To be careful, though. Yes, it's great information, but you can see that the AWP on his back, that goes down and they don't recover it. That could be a problem. He gets in a great position. He should be fine. But now it starts to get a little bit interesting. We have got an AK picked up there. I say an AK. Caesar just a Mac 10, so that's not a huge deal. Kiabi just showing his hand towards B. At this point, it's not even worth the TD saving the Mac 10. They'll try and do something with it, and we'll see what happens as we go into a little bit of an interesting situation. 4 versus 3.
Device has pulled out the AWP, though, and he's in the position, the best position to watch all rotations. He's getting ever closer, just has to hit the shot, keep the AWP up. The rest have left the bomb site, and actually are quite a far way away, so did have to hit that shot unseized with reasonable grace. There was no kit in his planet for bathrooms, so I doubt he would have gone that far. But Glaive is hunting for the rest, and they get the Mac 10 back. That's some significance that it doesn't pick up any additional frag money for the NaVi side, as they're going to try and build up their economy to get back into this game. Good read as well, as Zipix finds Flamey, and no guns survive. No armor, no pistols, no anything. Whatever they had, it's gone.
Indeed. Well, they had a lot of money going into this round. The first, I would say, real gun round here. No SMGs, both teams fully equipped. You can see the CTs right now, they have the AWP, they're going to have defuse kits. Incendiaries are so important on this map. Simple, he's feeling the burn a little bit more, Matt. I kind of pointed out before, you can see how he's been affected going into this next gun round. It's a big one. He's only got a single flashbang and no kit. Overpass is very utility dependent, especially against a full execution. You need the smoke to lock the terrorists out, the incendiaries to slow them down. He doesn't have that. He's a very, very good player indeed, but he can be overwhelmed with that lack of grenades. As we go into round number 8 now, it will be Guardian, of course, on the AWP towards the bathrooms area this time. More of a traditional round from NaVi, no gambles being made initially. Oh, Device, though, he's so dangerous on this map, and you've got to be very brave to jump towards a flower bed like that. Edward gets away with his life for now, but he has been spotted.
Astralis with Device on the op. Ooh, gets flashed. Worst possible time. Dinked as well. They know he's there. He's gone. AWP down. Guardian finds Kirby. Again, that AWP in his hands, finding early kills. And for the second time in 3 gun rounds, remember, there's only been 2 thus far. It's NaVi looking sharp as they try and find an equalizer. Astralis will get Zipix to get Flamey, but Simple's immediately after him, and Bomb is dropped out toward long. Dupree doing battle where he can, has to reload, get around the corner before Guardian elects to chase him down, but smarter than that, he stays disciplined. Good shot. If he had picked up both kills, that on which Guardian needed 42 HP, this could be an open situation as he smokes off toward Bomb and gets back.
Certainly possible now. It's going to be the 3 versus 2, but a nice position from Caesar. Good reaction. He knew he was up against it, had to lock down one side of the map for his teammates. He pushes off towards shore, and that pretty much secures it. Taking down Zipix there, 3 versus 1. Yes, Dupree has the bomb, and now time is working against him. He's got 25 seconds, no grenades, has to hit some incredible headshots here. It's up to NaVi to give this one away. Have a crossfire. Edward doesn't even need to commit to this. Spot him, deny the plan, and just make sure there's a lot of pressure applied to Dupree. Don't give him too many opportunities here.
Dupree, here's the shot rattling from the bathrooms. He wants to just try and get a plant down at that point in time so they can build up their economy. They are around in the good here, so they'll be able to buy this one, potentially the next, even with a bomb plant and lost round bonus.
Yeah, you can still see, though, losing 2 players there for NaVi. That's not, it's a good round overall, but they need to start having more of those, keeping multiple players alive. 6-2 right now. You can see the investments made. If they lose this round, it's another 1,400 coming into the accounts next round, so they need to win this one to start really sinking their teeth into this first half. Astralis still on a commanding position. It's going to be 5 AKs this time. We know they've got a lot of execution potential in this map. They're making their way towards short this time. A swift job of it as well as Dupree leads the charge as we Flamey, though, aggressive towards long. That's perfectly done. He gets the first kill, and he wants a little bit more here. I'd say pull back at that stage. Goes down to 22 HP and gets punished. I think as soon as you get 1 kill as a CT side, get out of there, especially if you're by yourself. Sure, multiple frags are always great, but as soon as they equalize a situation like this, now it's actually the advantage towards Astralis.
So Dupree behind the bags has at least got somewhat closer onto the B site, can get a lot of information, but look at this push up from Simple. Missed shot, he's got to capitalize, and he hits Glaive as well. This could actually work out from really awkward to really good, because the missed shot on Device, if Glaive could have been there to punish him without any kills, it would have been a problem, but he gets 2. Does go down. The nade from the grave to get Device, who he did massive damage on to start it off by catching him in turn with the nade out. Is it enough to sway this round? Oh, yes, it certainly is, because look in behind the barrels. Seized is there. He'll catch dupreeh, who was waiting for a false information to walk into B.
Well, there it is. Another aggressive round there from NaVi. Kicks off from flamie, pushing them onto tunnel. Beautifully done. Like I said, maybe overstayed his welcome a little bit there. Comes down to this 3 versus 1. It's Kiabi, though, one of the stars of the major, which Astralis recently picked up. Has got the bomb, makes his way towards the B site. Molotov as well. He gets one of these kills if possible, but Edward takes him down. Another clean round there from NaVi. Got a little bit scary there. Simple, uncharacteristic shots there towards long. Misses that first kill, but ends up getting 2. Like you said, the grenade saves him as he manages to find 2 frags at the start there. And that should force Astralis down to an eco. But as I said, though, it's still enough for a buy, but Glaive has been affected. He's only got the Tech 9. There are 4 AKs out. You can see they're starting to be grinded down now as we go into round number 10. Guardian back on the orb, of course, and looks like NaVi into the swing of things now. They should be able to pick up this round on paper right now, considering Glaive just has a pistol.
Simple waiting for a chance of rotation from the lower tunnel. Seized is going to be there as well. They're going to have to converge perfectly onto dupreeh. Find it, but there's Device to find the answer. Where does Edward find his kill? Because he's got 2 in the round now as Zipex will go down. And just like that, it's, oh, here we go. I was going to say a 4 versus 2. It's a 4 versus nothing, because they come in and completely swarm Astralis, looking a little more poised than what they were at the quarterfinal, excuse me, the major, by getting aggressive and in the right position this time.
Yeah, perfectly done. Just
it seems like a reaction as well to not give as much ground on A. They're getting a lot more aggressive on A.
Yeah, like a stranglehold almost every choke point there towards the map. You can see Connector, they can hear the footsteps coming in. Find those first 2 kills, are pushing off towards long as well at the same time. Edward backstabbing there. And finally, they've broken the Astralis economy. It will just be pistols this time. Desert Eagles, P250s, a smoke and a flashbang. And at this point, NaVi, once again, keep all 5 players alive. You know the money's going to be low. You don't need to be as aggressive this time. And this dupreeh on his screen right now, we talk about him being the absolute master. I'd say the best player in the world at that shot in particular. It seems he hits it every single time. So NaVi now, they can probably work out it's going to be an eco at this stage. Hold back. No one needs to be aggressive. Sit at the bomb sites. Crossfire is enabled and just deny the bomb. That's all they really have to do. They don't have to hunt for information at all there.
Zipex. Trying to get an opening shot with the pistol. Does it all himself despite dupreeh's best efforts on a deagle, and we know he's a threat on the weapon. He gets closer still to flamie. Makes his way toward jungle by catching off 1 on the M4, and Edward arrives in the window. Good time to save his teammate. He'll find his 3rd in the round, and I believe 5th in the last 2 rounds combined, so he takes the lead at 10 kills. Just to give you an idea, it's dupreeh overall on 11, but it's only Glaive remaining in this particular round. So if Edward finds the next, he could tie that up. And he may do as flamie gets damage in. Edward's just behind him. There's a chance he could get that last 6 HP off of him as the flash looks to go over, and Glaive wants to do as much possible damage as he can. It's not even over. It's popped in, and bullet's not going to land. Yeah, it's done either way. Watch behind him. He's got a flank because Simple's arriving.
Well, he could do something here. Unfortunately not. Simple just ready for that one. He will be picking up round number 5 in NaVi. So it was a rough start for them, but they've certainly got back into it now, and the money's still not a decent situation. No AWP device available, I believe. So it will be 5 AKs once again. NaVi now with a few rounds in a row, make it 4 to be exact. The loss bonus starting to accumulate for the Danes at this stage. Round number 12. This is certainly a CD-sided map still, so NaVi looking to get a few more rounds on the board at this point. Guardian, his money actually starting to get to a real decent place. He's actually on $11,000, so lots of AWPs in the bank ready for him. Aggressive once again towards Connector, and he's going to have some opposition. Nails the shot, but can't find the kill.
Lag instead. Reverse damage down onto Edwards, reasonable at 19, but the AK can't prevail, and as such, they go down a man. flamie's tagged on to 60, though, so there's a bit of a chance here that Astralis, if they can find the right positioning in the right time, be able to pick up the kills required, but they've gone far back on the map with very little control to try and regroup in this situation. Minute and 24 to play with, but a full relocation of a dynamic defense, and that seems to be what NaVi are looking for throughout the course of this match. Guardian's position. It seemed like the world's slowest reactions, but then it was dead on as Device gets taken down.
This is great for NaVi right now, changing their positions and their mentality almost every single round. Astralis having a real rough time working out what's being presented to them each time. Another 5-on-3. I would say at this point, Simple may be a little bit overextended, but at this point, it doesn't even matter. Kiabi's not even going to check it. Down he goes. It works out perfectly for him. He finds his second frag as well. Lovely stuff from Simple there. The point I'm trying to make there, obviously when you have those first 2 frags, he doesn't need to be in that sort of position, but it's done to perfection at that point. The bomb goes down, and now it's just poor old Zipex in a 5 versus 1. So NaVi really have turned things up in the last few rounds. 5 in a row now.
shot from Zipix, but he leaves himself very open and exposed at the top of the doorway. Exposing himself near bathrooms. Henry G, you know all about that. Simple gets him. 6-6. Na'Vi, decent response on the CT side.
Did you have any Na'Vi players in your fantasy team this week?
No, but Sadokist Sexy Samurais is by far the best fantasy team in that 8. In fact, I'm willing to say that I will win.
You're willing to say you'll win? You're putting a lot on the line there.
I'm willing to say that I will win.
Okay, then,
I will
fair
bet
enough.
your house on it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll bet your car.
Damn it. I take it back. I'm not sure I'll win.
Well, once
I did
again.
pick Speedy and some guy named No One, who I don't even know who it is. Simple's going to take down Device.
It's another eco. Well, it's a partial buy, I guess, at this point from Astralis. They've got some money in the bank. Maximum stage loss bonus should be a simple procedure for the CT. First 3 frags now coming in for Na'Vi. And it's going to be Zipex and Kiabi up against it now. There has been some damage inflicted, but that's about it. No real reason for Simple to keep committing, but as I always say that, he seems to be the sort of player that always goes against the rulebook and manages to find kills when he shouldn't. So it could be Zipex trying to get the bomb down here, but unfortunately for him, that's on the other side of the map. Takes a kill down with him. 4 on 1, I should say, but Zipex trying to do a little bit more damage there, but Flamey finishing things off. And for the first time now, Na'Vi do take the lead, 7-6. Lots of money left. It's going to be round number 14. That's almost redundant at this point. We do have a Device AWP, which, to be fair, has been lacking. He's only seen it a couple of times there. Hasn't exactly been lighting up the scoreboard. He picks it up again as we get to the latter stages of the first half here. And like we said, Na'Vi have been so good at being dynamic at this stage. They're changing their positions up every single time. And Astralis looking like they're a little bit out of their depth. We haven't seen that kind of pinpoint execution from them yet. Running a lot of defaults there and losing the first couple of frags almost every single time.
With that said, I completely agree with losing the first couple of frags every single time. They're going to try and change up ever so slightly by getting a boost on top of Slide. It's not the typical tree boost that you see, but they'll give up.
So they've been sort of shown so much aggression towards Long that it's setting up for him, waiting for it to come in. That's going to be fine. They'll go for a long sort of retake at this point. You can see them kind of setting up. Maybe a flashbang will go over, allow Device to face that area as the flash. Glaive won't be committing just yet. They're seeing what the reaction is going to be. And you can see there are 3 CDs towards Long once again. So let's see how this works out for Na'Vi in particular.
Start to work down inside of the lower underpass position. Dupree's already covered it off from ladder, so that checkbox is clicked, removed from the Google Keep position by which everyone should share their to-do lists, because that's covered off, but they don't have Edward cleared at the long position. They didn't even consider it as he gets aggressive, and here's them coming. Guardian will take down Device. Kierby gets back to Edward, but Kierby is so low. The pistol through the smoke should be enough, and as he shows himself just before the flash, it certainly is. Nice shot by Simple as well. And it's all on to Dupree, tagged as well on 46 and a 1 versus 3 bomb in bathrooms. He wins the battle right now, the duel against Guardian. He's got a chance to grab that bomb, but the rotations are going to be behind him any second, and Guardian doesn't need help. How dare I suggest he may?
Ever since that first real gun round, as I dubbed it, began, Na'Vi have been in control of this game. It was a great start from Astralis, like winning the pistol there and then shutting down that first gun round victory from Na'Vi. They were in control of the money at that point, but as soon as we got the grenades and the confidence going and Guardian at that big round with the AWP, you kind of started to believe that this could actually work for Na'Vi. They're looking very strong right now, changing things up. A double AWP setup to chuck it in at the end as well. It's Simple, of course. We've been waiting for that double AWP setup to really arrive. It hasn't really sung true to what we were kind of expecting. When it first was announced, we thought this could be the deadliest double AWP setup in the world. Hasn't really delivered, but so far, Guardian stepping up. He finds another kill there on towards Glaive, and this has been the story throughout this first half. Na'Vi get the first couple of kills. They've done it once again, and there's no response from Astralis.
Free. To get shots through smoke is going to give himself away with tracers and allow Flamey instead to find the damage. Covers him off as Zipix will go for the bomb. It's down inside a construction position, but he's going to grab that anyway and put himself into the cubby. Hold for information. Little bounce nade wouldn't do much damage from above, but enough perhaps to be significant as they want to try and clear out the sandbags. Molotov drop. That's clever. That's a nice boost. Doesn't even need to take the shot. Would have been quite sexy if he did, but instead they'll catch the rotation back toward the A site as Guardian with the AWP wants to try and get information knowing they're coming that direction, so jumps up, spots Device, and down he goes. I will say that much to the discussion had before our fantasy teams, I did drop Zipix to go for Device. Thanks, Chad.
I didn't go anywhere near this game because I knew you can't really tell. Then it's 2 Titans like this, it's going to be so close, and you never really know who's going to perform. That's why tomorrow I'll do my little fantasy section. I'll kind of tell you how my spreadsheets work. I know I've got a spreadsheet, you know. You were impressed by it earlier.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were a very organized person, but you made a spreadsheet because I used to kill you at this all the time.
Exactly. I thought I'm not losing again. I'm actually going to do a proper job. Yeah, these are the kind of games you want to avoid. It's just really difficult to work out. But there it is, 9-6. NaVi come back from an early defeat there. I'd say Astralis look they're running away with it, but come back valiantly and look very strong towards the end.
We'll take a quick break. Astralis not looking like they did at the major on this map. We'll see if they can recover in the second half. NaVi show off some form, some dynamic play on the CT side, something we didn't see from them just 2 weeks ago when it may have mattered most. But what it does mean is quite clearly that Astralis needs to recover from a 9-6 deficit on the second half.
Yeah, Astralis started off really well there. We thought, okay, more of a similar storyline. Astralis being a much stronger team, more dynamic overall. But you mentioned it, the CT's changing their game plan almost every single round. And Astralis, we didn't see those executions from them. It didn't seem to look comfortable at all. Very rare to see Device actually not do much. An overpass with the AWP. Can't really remember a significant round from him at all on that terrorist side there. So big rounds from NaVi overall. Started off slowly after losing the pistol there and getting shut down in that first gun round. But overall, still anyone's game, 9-6. It's never really indicative as to who's going to run away with it. But towards the end there, I would say NaVi looked much better overall. This is the inaugural game of the Pro League Season 5. And what a way to kick things off, Matt. Astralis versus NaVi. It doesn't get much bigger than that, does it?
No, that's one of the best matchups I think you could put on paper right now of any. Yeah. Especially when you rule out that a lot of the great matchups include SK, who obviously in the North American division. So this is about as good as it gets, as you say, as we get ready as well to start things off in halftime number 2. Just taking some time for the players to ready themselves up. Obviously, as we said, it's Astralis that has to go over to the CT side and I think really get an op out on Device and shut them down early.
One thing I will say, Chad mentioned it on the analysis desk as well, when you're an online play, the coach can have a lot more input into the team. Starix, of course, he has been stifled somewhat since the new ruling from Valve comes in for the coaches. They only talk in freeze times, well, not even freeze time, pause time, and that's 4 times 30 seconds, right? And if you can see right now, with Starix having more involvement, they look a lot stronger as a unit, and C's is not having so much pressure on his shoulders. That's something that was a massive talking point once that ruling came in. They just lost Zeus. C's had to be almost made to be the in-game leader at that point. They're relying on Starix heavily at that stage. And you can see when they have Starix at the helm of things, it looks a lot cleaner. So, I don't know. Glade, for me, hasn't really arrived or really done anything too interesting on that T side here yet. But they win the pistol here. It's 9-9. And like we said, anyone's game still. And we will just be warming up slightly still as we get into the second half. And we have got Nuke coming up next map as well, which is another interesting map. Astralis really did play that map very well at the major. I think they beat Fnatic 16-5 in it. So that's going to be another interesting one. It seems like that map's teams are starting to get comfortable with it as we go forward. It's always been a tricky one, especially when they've been kind of I guess it's balanced the right word, when they kind of like redesigned and kind of readdressed by Valve. And it comes back, and it always takes a little bit of time for the teams to adapt it and actually start playing it. But now we've got to that really exciting point where there's a few teams getting really good at it. Teams that come to mind like Virtus Pro, Astralis, NIP, starting to really adapt it. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I actually love casting Nuke at the moment.
Yeah, I think Nuke's, it's definitely, I think I like casting any map that's in its development phase.
It's true.
I think if that's a way to put it. I think it's always fun to watch teams establish a meta, break things down, make mistakes that are costly, and then learn from it. And I think we're going to get that a bit from the new Inferno as well. I think it'll be a little more traditional, but it'll be somewhat close.
That's my favorite map of all time. But here it is. The second half, it will be NaVi now. On the T side, have a look at their buy. Something a little bit more tactical, perhaps. 3 sets of armor, 2 smokes in the hands of Season Simple. Normally towards the B side, as I said before. That's the most favorite place to go. Even if you don't win the round, you're almost guaranteed to get the bomb down there. We'll see where they decide to go. As Device, he'll be the only player towards A at the moment. Aggressive towards the fountain. Shows some presence there, but will be falling back. Like I said, by himself. Can't really afford to go down here as we go into this one. It is going to be Tech 9 for Flamey as well. That's a Superman buy. He's got the body armor, and his teammates dropped him a Tech 9 as well. So watch out for him being thrown into the bomb sites first. He'll be trying to get that entry kill. Means he's a bit more of a tank as he goes into the site, and obviously the Tech 9 needs no introduction, Matt. Very, very powerful pistol indeed.
Try and work up as well, like you say, with that Tech 9 to work with. Simple electing to be the utility player. That's interesting. Normally we see him trying to be the showy, aggressive star player, if you will. Highlight clip machine.
Yeah, that's fair.
But he's going to play the team game with Seized, of course, as well, who's leading right now as Flamey, as you mentioned, also on the raid boss. It's going to slow it down slightly. Dupree, meanwhile, gets a little bit impatient, perhaps, knowing that, okay, where are they? This is a pistol round. Why are they not arriving yet? And as he pushes up, Xyp9x is there to try and get a trade frag, but not quite in position yet is NaVi to push through the squeaky door, as they do. Astralis has made the right call to back away, hearing the door open up. It's going to be Flamey trying to walk in as well. They search both sides of the site, but only one side occupied, and occupied with kills right now for Astralis as they get in toward the construction pit. It's going to be pulled back as Edward does get one, and now Flamey's... Raid boss can go to work. Doesn't quite land it as he goes for the reload. Device gambling to go for the wide peak on it, because now it's down to a 1 versus 2, and he was exposed and susceptible of falling before the first kill came back in for Astralis. And it won't matter in the end as he backs away, stays alive, and Glaive takes Edward out.
Pretty standard pistol run there from NaVi. Like I said, a small default at the start. Didn't really show any presence towards A or middle, in fact. They were just holding up for the aggression from the CTs. Standard smokes, one towards the CT entrance, one towards Heaven as well. Going together with a flashbang. Didn't really amount to too much until it got to the point where they lost a couple of frags, and then all of a sudden, 3 come in for NaVi, but still not really a winnable situation there. And interesting enough, NaVi, they have been good at this recently, been conservative with their cash. Normally a lot of teams will force buy into that second round, especially if they don't get the bomb down here. It's actually a full eco. They could be planning some sort of surprise here. It's quite rare to see this. Maybe go for some Tech 9s and body armor next round. We'll see what they decide to do. But it's going to be Glocks for now, 1 flashbang, and it will be Device to get the first frag. Hungry for a bit more here as well as he finds his second. Here's, of course, the AWP, and he finds 3. So this is great stuff from him. Looking for the ace so far, and anyone who's got Device in their team at the moment, this is a big round for him. 4 kills so far, trying to hunt for the ace. Kind of like this kind of fantasy kind of feature we have this time. It means you're a little bit more invested into certain players and
I want
teams.
the ace. Let's go Device. You're on my team. Don't mess me up.
He's not on my team. So if you've got him, you'll just cashed a lot of points there.
Oh, I'm going to cash out a lot more points than you do anyway, Henry. That goes without saying. Your spreadsheet can't stop my genius. As Simple in the 1 versus 5 is found by Kirby. Damn you, Kirby. Device nearly got it as he snapped to the right, but 4 kills nonetheless. Logitech replay showing exactly how fancy it was. I love that X-ray's off. Look how close some of these shots are. First one, easy to spot. Guardian smoke still dissolving. Spots up Edward. As soon as he arrives, pretty straightforward on that one.
Okay then, so Matt, no bomb going down in the pistol and nothing purchased in the second round whatsoever. It means they can get AKs, head armor in this round. I don't think the CTs will be expecting this at all. You can see them going aggressive here. They could actually run into these AKs. If the CTs stand back a little bit here, Edward runs through the fire there. Look at his first frag and should be able to pick it up. Gets a bit hairy though.
That's peculiar in a lot of ways, because not only should he be able to pick it up, Xyp9x had a chance to peek him for free and didn't elect to do so. Dupree didn't pick up the kill. It would have been an opportunity lost. They heard the ticks on those Molotovs. They totally repositioned. As soon as the ticks came in, Xyp9x was getting ready with nades to fly out toward Monster. And that's going to be an early kill down. Now, the question is, they'll see the gun coming out from his body, but are they aware for the others to have purchased up in this situation as well, as Simple will grab an AK-47. Potentially try and take advantage of the situation. Bomb slowly going back toward T-stairs, as well as Simple baits out a bit more utility from the CT side. Time, obviously a factor in that sense, because we're still just crossing the 1 minute mark. And they're down to just 2 smokes and a Molotov left on the CTs.
Well then, 5 on 4 for now. We do have a smoke for NaVi available, but 2 players towards A, 2 towards B. I assume they'll try and show the hand towards that B bomb site, try and pull a CT player across, and you can see they actually be walking to the A side. Flamey nailing a shot there, finds the first shot towards the A side, and Simple doing a lot of work towards B as well. The CTs have no idea as to where this will actually finish up. You can see them kind of scrambling around, trying to get some intel here. And Glaive, just with that SMG, shut down by the UMP in return. 3-on-2, all of a sudden, it shifts in favor of NaVi.
Smoke down, Zipix backs away. Seized will be the one to place the bomb in the process, and advantage massively swaying in the favor of NaVi as Device will get in position with Zip. No boost going up just yet, but Guardian's prepared for it. He knows that, all right, you're both coming from the same position. You've got a retake against 3. Very likely they go for that position. Interesting that this kill registers on Device and Zipix tries to get a response to get it into a one-on-one almost the second it happens, but can't do anything to take down Simple, and the early buy pays off for NaVi.
Yeah, literally nothing Zipix can really do that. The SMG, the UMP in particular, not really effective at that sort of range. He's very good in close range combat, but Simple knows he's low HP, knows exactly where he is as well. He's got the advantage, he's got the aim to challenge that, takes him down. Zipix couldn't really do much about it. That's a really interesting approach for NaVi, buying up in that 3rd round instead of the 4th, which is traditional. Like we said, we normally see teams force up in the 2nd round, but I think that's going to shift soon. People are starting to realize how powerful the UMP is in general, and you're going to see a lot of interesting buys like this going forward in 2017. CSGO's in a really interesting place in that regard, but still money available for the CTs. Edward aggressive, of course, gets taken down. Zipix finds 2 frags, but equal for now.
Equal indeed, but Zip's got a problem in that he has to get a reload in somehow, and he knows they're getting closer. Wow. Never mind the reload over to the USP. May get more than that damage done on Seized. But it's down to the 1 versus 2 as Zipix gets 4 kills before perishing. It leaves him at 16, Device at 15. And Seized with 1 kill. Guardian on 1 kill.
Kiabi's got 1 kill as well.
I'm just looking at the scoreboard for the first time in forever. This is a 3-horse race.
Yeah, that's
Flamey
insane.
and Edward, 15 and 12.
Guardian
there has
definitely
to be a reconnect.
No, Guardian got loads of kills in the first half. He was going nuts. He definitely had
1 and 11 though. How does that?
This is ESCA, remember, so it resets each time.
Yeah, but I don't think the kills reset per half, so he must have just... I'm confused. Someone
Maybe
explain.
It's our scoreboard on our screen, you know? It might be different on
They just had it on the observers.
He was lighting it up in the first half.
Yeah, so something's bizarre there. I don't remember him disconnecting at any point in time, but if you reconnected to only get 11 deaths, how does the stats tally?
Let's not bring up
Something's weird.
Let's leave that. We'll be fine.
Bomb's going to be planted by Seized. He's got the UMP. He'll fall back. He planted it for default at Bathrooms, but doesn't have the weapons. What is he doing? What just happened? Because he looks to go towards Bathroom, turns around, leaves himself in the open, fires in, somehow stays alive with Device staring him down on the crosshair, and then he wins the round. I'm so confused as to how that all transpires.
It's interesting. The whole round is a little bit confusing for all of us. I've just been confirmed by Emma. It was an ESCA bug in terms of the scoreboard, so don't take too much attention to it. It's fine. We're looking into it.
My whole life just got
completely
confused.
You really did lose your mind that round. It was a very confusing roller coaster for all of us. But NaVi do come out on top. A very strange round indeed, I have to say. Device misses a crucial shot there in the back as well towards Bank. Like we said, he hasn't been amazing on the orb this map so far, and ultimately losing that round. A nice little Glock shot there from Seized, finish things off. Great pickup from him. Replays all over the place here as we go into the next round. Number 5, it's not a big deal because it's just another eco from Astralis, but NaVi, some avant-garde strategies here. Like I mentioned before, that 3rd round buy-up was interesting and potentially got them back into this as we go to Simple. Oh, what a little one-tap that was. Finds 2 kills as well, 5-on-2 all of a sudden, and it will be Zipix and Dupree remaining. Not really much I can do about this situation. Very disciplined stuff. I guess NaVi on the same team we kind of used to recognize them as, the very slow-paced team, leaving everything to the last 10 seconds since Simple's come into the team. Hasn't really been the storyline so much, but right now they're being very disciplined, not giving too much away. Got some information, got the kills, and going to be making sure that no mistakes are made. They don't want to drop a single player here. They want to guarantee this map victory. Go down in round number 5 if 5 players stay alive, and at this point Dupree and Zipix looking at 6s and 7s as they're going to both be in CT spawn. Simple, hungry for more frags, of course. He never gives up.
Yeah,
Spotted up.
Zipix dead to rights, 24 HP. Not much to worry about. Just make sure he doesn't cop a headshot from the P250. So 12-8. NaVi, firm control of situation, but they got an AWP still up on Guardian. They've got guns to go against finally, but not much. Device left on a FAMAS again.
Yeah, he's had a pretty quiet game so far, and now on down to the FAMAS. Only 1 kit available for the CTs. Head arm obviously not a huge deal against his AKs. Not going to be a factor, but Device on the FAMAS certainly is. 1 incendiary, And like we said before, it's a very utility-dependent map, especially on the defensive side here. Holding off those full executions to be a massive problem. And Guardian, fantastic in the first half. He's back on the AWP. They'll slow things down at this point. As I said, that they maybe not straight up towards long as Edward and Flamey with Guardian backing them up as well. They're being ruthless right now. No methodical play here whatsoever. They're just going to be going in as a unit, trying to find these frags. They know they're hitting their shots. And Guardian looking towards long, gets gifted an opportunity there. Doesn't pull the trigger quite yet.
Nice, though. Trying to bait out with his shoulder. Nothing spotted on the other side of the smoke. Will take a bit of damage. He's lost his teammates down inside of the site, which means he's in a precarious position. Pinched off by the terrorists and unfortunately can't even get damage dealt. As such, 4 versus 2 on a retake. No kits. Flamey sees the shoulder of Zipix, who thinks he's being clever to dodge absolutely nothing aside from trying to get his vision back and fully restored from the flash. And simple. Dupree gone. 13 rounds.
That's just a really nice round for NaVi overall. They've actually read the economy down to perfection at that stage. I know it's very unlikely the CDs to have an AWP. That's why long becomes a very viable area for the terrorists at that point. Like I said, ruthless aggression there, going up together as a nice little unit, trading frags everywhere they go. CDs have nothing to say about it whatsoever. Device left for Famus, defending from the outside of the bomb side as well. Can't find a single kill. And NaVi just seems so on point right now. Another eco for Astralis. 5-7. Deagles improves some body armor, but should be another very simple round for NaVi here. And once again, reading the situation nicely. Not having the rush this time. They know it's an eco. Hold back, try and get a tell from the CTs, wait for them to make a mistake, then the adjustment comes in, then you stick as a unit and execute to a bomb site. That's the thing about CSGO, it's not like the glory days, you can't really treat the ecos as easily as you could before. You need to just hold back and make sure you don't give anything away whatsoever. The pistols can be very powerful in this game indeed.
Trying Device desperately, is he not? Might as well fire everything it's worth to get that kill. Nearly overcommits to it because he's on 8 HP and still a chance for the CTs to try and make a play if they can get a read correctly onto NaVi with just these pistols, but overstepping his mark and going down in that situation pretty much would have written it off, should there be anything to write off to begin with, because no armor, no utility. And the man advantage already going to NaVi, who are looking to walk into the B site through Monster. Kirby still jumping at bags for information. He realizes now that he's got company. As Simple gets the first shot. Nice shot in return, though, from Kirby. He's got a little bit of a smoke to dance inside him. He's going to try and take advantage of the situation, allow them to walk into a further trap. And he's actually got a line up. Kirby, 2 with a lovely shot onto Flamey. Looking for more as well as he gets into a headshot angle. It's Glaive to take down Guardian. It's back to a 2 versus 2. As I mentioned, Device overstepping his mark could have been a problem. He has since gone down, so too Kirby, but my God, they make it interesting.
Interesting and exciting, I would say. That was very well done from Astralis. Unfortunately, can't quite pick up that round. That would have been massive for them. Unfortunately, goes to 14-8 now. NaVi in touching distance are picking up, I guess, this game. There are 2 maps played. For anyone who's new to the format of Pro League, each map is treated as a separate game individually. So yes, we'll be playing twice tonight, but it's not like a best of 3 or even a best of 2. These are 2 separate games that contribute towards points on that leaderboard. So this is looking very promising for NaVi so far. As we get to 14-8. A full buy, though, for Astralis finally. I say that, though, no kits available. Device, he's had to work a bit harder here as he goes towards middle. They need him to find this first frag, but NaVi holding up that boost towards playground. Device gets nothing for his push at this point, so he will be falling back and watching that connector position. So Guardian, once again, slowing things down. He'll be trying to work that first pick, and it looks like that little fragging unit once again. Edward, Flamey, and Guardian potentially going towards long. They're just going to be sniffing things out for now, leaving the bomb and T-spawn. And Device, like I said, normally one of his absolute best maps. He's very dynamic on the CT side here, but he's certainly been caged so far.
Device looking for an angle as well if they walk up into the party. He'll greet them with, I think, what Alex referred to one time affectionately as a Zoom banger. I'm not really sure what that is.
It's one of Machine's catchphrases. Zoom banger.
As they start to work up long, Guardian as well on his Zoom bang. I'm done.
Yeah,
He's gonna keep going with it. Yeah, Edward's gonna clear out close proximity bathrooms. The connection point to long. His Device still sitting tight, patient to watch and see if they get any closer. The problem is they actually bypassed him by going to the front bathrooms, and as he gets back, he could be caught by bomb carrier. Seized at this time, not quite though, and as a result, he will get back inside of the site. Didn't have any support. That's the point I was going with. He had to be careful. First kill does go in for Dupree. That was only the 1 man on B, though, that was trying to cause rotations, and that kill coming in so quickly, first off, won't cause any rotations, and B, secondly, will force everyone back over to A as there's no follow-up on it. So this should confirm that they're in the right position. As such, they put a player in Position to cover off default. That's Glaive, 2 players toward the truck. Dupree being one of them. Good kill from him. You follow that up with a kill into Flamey as well. And Glaive now sees that bomb has gone down on default. With 5 seconds left, that's the round. But do they try and chase out and get them after the time expires? 1 second, don't kill him yet. He's in the open. Now he goes down. Guardian loses the op. He'll lose money as well. And Edward made 2 perish. Not quite. He stays alive with the AK.
Yeah, they take him down after time, which is a huge factor usually, but Guardian still had 8 grand in the bank, and they're almost a match point, so it's not a huge deal, but certainly contributes going forward if Astralis do start to find some momentum here. So we will take a match pause. Not clear as to whether it'll be technical or tactical at this point. I'm going to assume tactical, considering what kind of situation we're in.
Yes.
You would assume?
Yeah, I would assume that's correct. Difference, obviously, for online timeouts than it is tactical. Online timeouts versus the LAN timeouts, the system's done a little bit differently, but NaVi calls this. They don't want to let this slip out of hands at this point in time.
Yeah. Well,
and you're right in saying they've got lots of money on Guardian, but look at the round that he's just bought into.
Exactly.
So it does take him down as effectively a full round.
Yeah. Well, at this point, NaVi haven't had to work too hard for the rounds they've picked up on the T-side so far. They've been running the defaults, they've been grinding the money down of Astralis, they had some really interesting economic decisions at the start of the game, which really influence how success they've had so far in the second half. But now with that pause, I think they'll be trying to mix things up, maybe go into more of execution-based play. We'll see what happens there. Device, as we said, went aggressive in the previous round, didn't find anything for it. Looks like he'll be going for a similar approach as we go into round number 9 here. Waits for the flashbang, turns away from it beautifully, and now here it comes. The battle we've been waiting for, Guardian versus Device, but both players will be falling back at this point. The flashbangs just scaring Device off a little bit there as he goes back towards the bathroom area.
Edward's going to wait for his team to join in position as well. Guardian flashing out toward long. Double check to make sure no one's on top of the flowers. Second flash came in. I think that was also thrown from a teammate. I didn't see a second trail through the sky, but surely it was somewhere. Good timing from Simple. Door open, Zipix checking out towards short pipe, down he goes, and shut the door, I'm gone again.
It doesn't get much better than that. Obviously, Dupree's at short, the idea of that one, he's supposed to be watching that angle, but Simple just seems so aware. What a great pickup that is. Open the door, 3 kill, close the door behind you. And 5 and 4 comes in just like that with a minute remaining as well. That's very well done indeed. And now, up once again, pressure towards the AWP. And it's going to be Simple, taking a lot of damage there. Dupree might find him with that HE grenade. Not quite. Got him down to 6 HP at this point, but 45 seconds remaining. Like I said, we haven't seen much execution play from either side here, so I'd assume this might be one of those. You've got the man advantage. You still have a couple of smokes and Molotovs remaining as well. Bomb's still down towards T-spawn, which they're going to pick up now, but Dupree doing some fantastic work and finds a kill in return.
Does indeed. Glaive's got position above the smoke. All too easy as C's just walks into the open. He'll back away, drop down because he doesn't need to overextend it. They pulled back the damage as required. And once he backs away, they think he's gone. He pulls back up. Kirby gets a kill in the meantime. It's on to all Guardian. EWP in hand. There's one man who can. It's this man. But unfortunately doesn't spot Device slipping up behind the barrels, and it's pretty easy for him to close it out.
Well, now we have got a game on our hands. Astralis now have recovered. They had a few moments of despair there in terms of the money and not having the AWPs, but they're starting to balance things out now. NaVi, yes, they have money to buy into this round, but I don't think it's required. As I said, though, they're going for it. They've got a lot of rounds in their hand here. They've bought into this round. Loss bonus isn't really there, but they're going to have a Galil, 3 AKs, and the AWP, but they have got a distinct lack of utility as well. Still a viable buy, of course, but maybe not one that's required just yet. Device aggressive once again. This battle, we're waiting for this one-on-one duel to come in. He hits the shot towards Flamey. The HE could be good. Not quite enough, though, as Flamey does find the first frag in return as he goes down to low HP.
Device with the op will fade back in through bathrooms as he wants to reposition. No one out to support again. This is a bit peculiar, I have to say, in times, because Astralis is leaving Device out on his own. So either it's confidence from Device or early rotations from Astralis. It can cost teams. He does this time play long, though, which is a little bit easier to get back inside of the site from. To compensate for that, we just saw it on the map as it was brought up. Dupree's made his way all the way to T-spawn. At the exact second Device goes back around the corner at long, they show themselves at rocks, though, so he won't have that call for Dupree to work on, and Dupree may make a questionable decision. And I say questionable because the option exists. It's not like it's the wrong decision based on information. He could go down the ladder to mid instead. Okay, good. He's going to rotate the way that actually could cost quite a bit of issue. Nice shot through the smoke from Device. Misses the second one in front of bathrooms, but all the information has just gone to this man as Dupree get ever closer on the flank. Device may miss another, but he continues to buy time and space for Dupree, who spots up Simple but doesn't take him down. That'll draw attention. And suddenly the element of surprise becomes a bit more of a factor as they try and boost with Flamey over top of the smoke at long, and the 8 WP has a bit of vision. Dupree can still be a nuisance, though, because that long, he's going to go wrap around and catch them off. Surely that could have been called, as he gets Edward low. He's done so much damage onto Edward and Simple. Glaive will eventually get the kill, but this round all goes to Dupree's timing.
Yeah. Absolutely. Perfect stuff from Dupree. It's Device, like you said, he doesn't hit every single shot, but he gets the one that really counts there. He takes down Guardian at long. That's the bread and butter of NaVi, allowing him to open up the map. As soon as you take him down, they're a little bit stunned at that point. They have to work a little bit harder for those kills. And Dupree, he capitalizes at that stage. Simple might survive it. It's actually quite crucial. If he goes down now, that's a big kill. Oh, he just about survives, so he will be saving his AK. Won't get the money, of course, but this is the shot from Device. Like I said, double flashbang for this one. And then the shot through the smoke just before it blooms as well. Really, really good stuff from him. Doesn't nail anything after that, but it's enough, like you said, to slow them down, buy some time for Dupree. He's going for that log backstab as well. So, round number 11. It's 14-11 now as Astralis close the gap. Simple with the saved weaponry. He'll be accompanied by some Desert Eagles and P250s here. Edward's got some head armor and a Tech 9 as well, but Kiabi, he wants to find these kills. He wants to get that first one in full back. That's actually quite an interesting move from him overall, but in terms of the grenades available for NaVi here, they've got a smoke and a flashbang. Looks like they'll be making their way towards B. And hopefully Simple can light up the scoreboard for them, but Free's waiting, trying to get his first kill in return.
They'll fall away ever so slightly again. Simple gets closer as a result. Good opening shot. Give him the control, he'll take it. Nails the shot on Glaive inside of the window, and Xyp9x tries to compensate with a little bit of a chance and a bit of a fluke shot through the wooden plywood. Xyp9x still has to play support onto the man inside of the site right now, Dupree.
He spotted him.
Who's gone in behind the barrels, and that's not the man I'd want to be spotted by, as Simple as he gets backed out toward it. Xyp9x can get a flash in. If he peeks Monster right now, there's the flash. But he's not in a position to try and take advantage of it. That would have been timely. Edward's still over toward A. It's right now that the action starts, and Simple's got 3 already in the round. Both of them go down. No flash that time. They already threw it, and he's not going to peek it. Simple's got up to 4. He might get the ace spots. Device tries to tap, and he's got... It's Flamey stole it. Sorry.
Still, that was one of the sickest rounds we've seen in a while in online CS from Simple. Very, very nice stuff indeed. 1 AK, 4 pistols. He just dominates the map by himself. That's the problem with this guy when you're playing against him. Give him an inch and he will take a mile. He walks it towards short, catches him with the pans down there, gets the first shot, rotates back around towards Monster, nails 2 glorious headshots at that point, and you can see Astralis panicking. Device drops his AWP, he gets an M4 out, round's already over that point, and now that is match point, and you can see Astralis, how much that's affected them. 3 UMPs, 2 pistols. This should be GG if NaVi played this correctly. This one round will close things up here on Overpass. So, what's the play from Astralis at this point? They've gone aggressive towards Connector, a little stack here. It's going to be Device with that UMP. Doesn't really have the range to face at all around that corner. Has to just tuck himself in and hope for the best here. And you can see NaVi are aware of the situation. They know they've got the economy in their favor. We're slowing things right down. No need to rush. Use the grenades, flash over, check every position. They haven't got that Guardian AWP, but Device opened things up. He takes down Simple, who's by himself.
Device smokes off down below as well. Kirby. He'll fall away. Map point NaVi, and I have to agree, Simple in that round. A lot of people saying it in our YouTube chat. He's blatant. You're right, he's blatantly good. He is very good with his accuracy, and we saw it in that round as Edward gets a lot closer onto the A site. Smoke, gonna go down at long. That'll hold off Edward, or will it? Because he wants to go on this, and the utility's not yet in play from, excuse me, I was gonna say the Device side. That's correct, he's on that team, but I was gonna say the Astralis side, and they just get ripped apart by Edward on a transfer to the left, as they can't do anything with pistols. Surely you would have expected one to get that kill as he sits with 11. They do drop the bomb down, but 27 seconds, and Smoke's still off. It's Device that literally does have to be the team on that AK-47. Flashback over, he's buying more time. 19 seconds as they still have to find 2 and get much, much closer to getting that bomb down. 13 as it gets ever closer still, and they can't find the kills. Device will pop back out. Bomb is still in position and still in grabbable range, but Guardian's gonna end it with the kills alone. It goes to 16 rounds, and Astralis can't match their performance at the Major. They'll lose map 1 to NaVi. That's you, Henry. That's you. That's your cue to evaluate the game for me.
Well, there you go. I have to say that's a very impressive performance from NaVi overall. Actually looking very affirmative on their CT side, pushing aggressively almost every single time, and actually looking like a different team. It was Astralis who were changing things up every single time at the major, but this time it's NaVi dominating and showing they're the ones in the driving seat this time. Astralis, they did come back in the second half slightly, but it just wasn't enough. They kept getting ground down every single time. And I have to say that an interesting force buy from NaVi in the third round, a full eco in the second after not getting the bomb down. That was really cool. I'd like to hear Chad's thoughts on that going forward and whether he thinks that's a viable strategy going forward in CSGO meta.
Well, it was dynamic from NaVi, I have to say, very impressive. But that said, we'll join in with our analyst. You want to hear what Chad has to say? He'll tell us right now. We'll be right back with just Alex in the desk.
Thanks very much, you guys. Yes, indeed, you can hear what Chad has to say, as well as, of course, Lauren, Pansy, Scott, and myself, as we do delve a little deeper into Overpass. So, the rematch from the major, from the quarterfinal, previously seeing Astralis take it, this time NaVi get that rebuttal. You expected this to happen, Chad. Was this the way in which you saw this victory being acquired?
This is what I think NaVi needed to do at E-League.
Right.
You know, they needed to play more aggressive on their CT side, and they did try to play a little bit aggressive sometimes, but it didn't work for them, and then they started playing scared. Here they kept being aggressive in those first 6 rounds, and it paid off for them, and they took control of the game, which is what they lost last time these two teams met.
Such a solid start from Astralis as well.
It was, but then Guardian got the AWP. You saw the aggression coming out. You highlighted there, going down on shot on B, just absolutely destroying people. He started to look really confident, and so did everyone else. Simple on that round as well. On the second half, coming back in, they looked individually strong, and as a collective, looked confident, and this is what everyone wanted to see at the major and expected why that map would have probably gone their way then. And now it's happened, of course, for them in this matchup. But yeah, even just the amount of picks they were getting on that T side as well. The opening kills were coming in thick and fast. And it wasn't just when they're going for side hits. They were finding these throughout the game. Kiebi being caught out a couple of times. And yeah, overall, just a nice performance from NaVi.
I thought Astralis, you know, were going to get control of that T half like they did before. We saw them do a B execute late round like they did in what we illustrated in the pre-match show. And they actually, instead of going up sandbags, they all went out monster. And it caught the B player off guard because he didn't know where to look. He wasn't sure if it was the same execute coming in. So it's good to see them use that mind game in there. Something that I think was interesting was NaVi were playing so much more aggressive than you usually see them. Edward running through a Molotov, making his way up sandbag really quickly that round. It took all of us sitting here watching the game off guard, like, what's going on here? They're actually starting to play a different brand of Counter-Strike, and it's good to see. I think Simple would be the one spearheading that, you know, and it's good to see them getting a lot more depth in their game.
Because everyone knew them as that team that would execute the latest out of everyone. You know what I mean? That was the Dust 2 infamous. It gets down to what, 20 seconds, and it's going to come in. But it's a really nice maybe turn of relief for this team coming through.
Do you think that's a bit of Simple rubbing off on the other members of NaVi?
I think so.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be good. It's good to play like that sometimes.
It's like, just push.
With what Henry was just touching on when they just threw to us about the saving and buying on that third round when they didn't have like the same amount of money you normally want to see. Something I think with that is we used to mess around with ecoing on the pistol round. So even if you didn't get the plant, you full ecoed on the second, and then you could go into the third and have a full rifle round, right?
Right.
You're giving the CTs a lot of chance to farm money, but in 1.6 it was a lot more viable.
So you dabbled with it. What was your general consensus?
Yeah,
nah. I mean, I bet you probably won a couple of those pistol rounds with no Kevlar bought, and you just felt like complete gods for the rest of the game.
Sometimes it felt good.
Yeah.
I think like in this situation with the UMP being as powerful as it is in CSGO, you may as well do those kind of rounds, right? You can take the close quarter duels. You're going to actually have an advantage in some situations.
And I'm so glad you brought up the UMP, because my quiz Chad for 30 seconds segment that I've just made up on the spot is about to start.
Here we go.
It's not a quiz. It's something you said already. You said, well, the first thing you'd do, you tweeted this out, that you would swap the kill reward from the UMP and the FAMAS. You'd swap them around.
Yep.
Now, explain your working to the guys at home here. And Lauren, because she's just gone, what?
Well, the UMP is so much more viable than the FAMAS, right?
Sure.
Because you pay for the FAMAS, it costs you a lot of money, you don't get a lot of reward for it. It's actually harder to use.
You can get a UMP and Kevlar for the price of a FAMAS.
You watched the video, the 3 clicks Philip video. Yeah, you did.
Watched it last night.
Yeah, but I think that, you know, to potentially balance out the two weapons, give people more incentive to buy the FAMAS as opposed to the UMP. And you might, that kill reward swap does
Do you not think that would be crazy to have a rifle with a $600 kill reward, Lauren?
We're playing CSGO, mate. Nothing's crazy.
Yeah. Like, have you been keeping up with this game?
Some people are pretty decent with the FAMAS. I remember, who was his name? That Danish guy was nuts. He's not in a team anymore. Begins with S.
SMS? No.
Not Snappy. Is it Snappy? Snappy?
Snappy.
Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and stop thinking out loud. We did have some stats, I believe, for this game. I don't know if we can bring them up. I wanted to see who was top of the scoreboard. I was looking at Device. I was expecting big things from him.
It's
for my
because he's on your fantasy.
For my fantasy.
I've never seen you so into CS until this time. You're like, come on, Device.
I think we're looking at the next map, Nuke.
Yeah, I mean, we can do. Not too much. Of course, we'll do that after the break, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah,
that
but we
should
can dabble. There he is.
There's Deva.
21. Yep. Okay, 21 points. I'll pop them in my pocket.
Nice.
82
TK,
ADR.
right?
Yeah, and that's minus 0.5.
No.
It's just -1.
That's fine.
I can survive. I'll live with that. Yeah. All right. So those are the scores for my fantasy pick. Screw everyone else. You wanted to talk about Nuke, and we will give you ample time to set the scene then for the map that is coming up next. Nuke, we've seen Astralis on it. We've seen NaVi on it. What are your expectations leading into this one?
I think this could have been a pocket pick for NaVi going into the major. You know, something they'd worked on to surprise other teams. They didn't get the chance to do it. Astralis banning it when they met. They didn't have that opportunity. But I saw them play against Heroic. I was actually watching that in the hotel room, and they looked really good on it. They had some really nice strategies. They were using the outside smokes well. Had simple, you know, lurking around the ladder, sending people down secret while leaving people in the lobby area. Some good depth of strategy. So I'm excited. I still think like NaVi for me are looking great.
Yeah. And of course, just quickly touch on it, Lauren, before we take our break.
For me, looking at Astralis on this one, I just want to see how they play towards the outside. Do they exploit it as much as before? Can, you know, the likes of Glaive really dig deep enough like he was bailing them out last time we saw them on this map? I want to see that again.
Oh, Glaive was fantastic. Yeah, and indeed, it's something we'll talk about afterwards, but Glaive and his performance at the major seemed outrageous. Something Mitch touched on at the start of the show. We'll continue to unearth that and more as we do go ahead and take a quick break. When we do return, we'll be talking about the second map in Astralis versus NaVi. We see the Danes clash with CIS powerhouse NaVi on Nuke.